Straight to it this morning. Top of the morning, 2 Sports with Hunter McCann and Jack Schimmel. Good morning, guys.
Hey, David, out here in Nashville, LSU taking on Vanderbilt in this one. Both teams 5-1 going into this game. We're just about an hour ahead of kickoff. Vanderbilt kind of renovated their stadium in recent years. It's a cozy field, seats about 40,000 people, but it should be loud as this game goes on. Of course, LSU fans, hopefully they have a lot to cheer about in this one. Of course, LSU 5-1 going into this game. They still haven't played a complete game by the coach's admission, by just about everybody's admission so far this season. The defense has been awesome, as we've seen all year. The offense has struggled all year. They did, though, the offense, get a little better last week, showed some promise. The run game running for 166 yards, and the passing game looked okay with a healthy Garrett Nussmeier. Nuss made a couple of great throws and a couple of really bad throws, but Coach Brian Kelly believes all of those little mistakes and big mistakes on offense can be fixed.
I think the question is, one that I present myself with every Sunday when I come back in, like, what are the issues here that we can fix and are really fixable, that you don't see them again or you don't see them pop up again to the point where they can cost you a game? The foundational principles of getting off the ball, playing great run defense, attacking the ball in the air, pushing the ball down the field were in place. Now let's be a better version of that as we continue to move forward.
Of course, everything starts with the quarterback, whether it's praise that's worthy or not. Garrett Nussmeier has not been himself so far this season, but he did get back to that gunslinger mentality that he plays best with last week. Of course, the one big pick in the interception, he just made the wrong read. The other interception, I think LSU coaches can live with that. Of course, the Tigers getting the ball a lot to Trades Green last week. Maybe that opens up some balls over the top in this game today. Aaron Anderson is back in this one. And Garrett Nussmeier, he was warming up a little bit ago. He looked like he was moving well. It looked like he had no issues. And a lot of scouts were watching him play. He was throwing some good balls to his receivers. Here's Brian Kelly on what he saw from Nuss last week and what he expects from him going forward.
We're trying to balance this. He plays with a swagger, and he's better with a swagger, right? Don't know that he had that the previous weeks. Thought he was a little bit robotic. And we said, listen, you needed to be Garrett Nussmeier. And he was. Unfortunately, some of that comes with some mistakes. I think that that's an aberration, the mistake that was in the red zone, and something that he would immediately say, I should have had my eyes on that safety, because that's my read. But I like the version of Garrett Nussmeier we saw. He was a lot more confident. He was a lot more active in the pocket. He had an opportunity to run a couple of times. That's the version we want. We want to clean up those, what I would call uncharacteristic mistakes.
This Vandy defense is pretty good, one of the best in the SEC so far this season. Of course, they've only played 2 SEC games, and those out-of-conference games were against great teams. But I think if Garrett Nussmeier in this offense can find the end zone at least 3 times, they should win this game today. There could be some opportunities against that Vanderbilt secondary. The Vanderbilt front is pretty good. If LSU can run for maybe 100 yards or so, they should feel pretty good about themselves in this one. Of course, we're going to break down this game much more in studio in just a second. I'll be back out here in about 5-10 minutes to break down this Vanderbilt team and why they are good now. But first, we'll go back to the studio in Baton Rouge with Michael Cobble and Hunter McCann.
Thank you very much, Jack. Good morning to you all. Michael Cobble, Hunter McCann joining you now. And Jack just talked about it, the LSU offense moving things along. When we head back to Nashville, Jack will give us an update as far as who's in and who's out of the football game, because I know that's a huge question with linebacker Whit Weeks certainly nursing an injury all week, and that could be huge going forward. But as Jack said, let's talk about this Tiger offense. He just alluded to it. If they can get 3 scores on the board, this might be the difference maker. 3 used to be the magic number when I was a kid. It was a cartoon song. We all loved it. But Hunter, you've been talking about it all week. 3 touchdowns gives you 20 points. And that really feels like the magic number.
It does. I mean, I feel like if this Tiger team can crack into the middle 20s, somewhere, get those 3 scores, maybe get a field goal off of Ramos's leg at some point, get yourself in the middle 20s, I think they win this game in Nashville just because of how dominant that defense has been, whether or not Whit Weeks goes or not. he's not the deciding factor in my eyes. But like Jack said, this Garrett Nussmeier feels a little bit more confident. It feels like the arm is back where it was last year from that play we saw in South Carolina last week.
You could see it certainly in pregame warmups. You could see it in the game. He just looked healthier. You know, all season long we've been talking about him kind of throwing the Uncle Rico pass, you know, if you will, just an all arm. Well, he on a couple of interceptions, that's exactly what happened. But for the rest of the game, most of the game, Garrett did look healthy. Brian Kelly said it was kind of the difference.
The bottom line is he was healthy. On Thursday, I mentioned to you, we have the ball that has the GPS in it, and his numbers were up from any other time during the week. His ab injury is on the right side of it, where he feels good, and he didn't feel any pain on Sunday coming in. So that's a really, really good sign for us moving forward.
Absolutely. You obviously don't want any pain after the game. You don't want any pain during the game. You can manage the pain during the game if that's the case with a couple of shots. But, you know, you'd rather him just play to his full potential. That's kind of what we're seeing. And speaking of potential, one of the guys that we've been waiting to have that breakout game, saw it all fall camp, was Tiger tight end Trey Green, the Zachary native, you know, kind of new to football, but certainly making his name known throughout fall camp. And then he kind of went into the witness protection program. We never saw him again, right? He's such a difference maker. You saw the one play at Clemson where he can get involved, and basically if that's the one play they can run at LSU, where you got three receivers on one side and Trey on the other, then run it every time you're in the end zone. The guy can't be stopped.
Well, like you said, he's new to football, but this is basically just a basketball move. Just go up and get the football. I mean, that's basically how they are running this offense with Trey Green, and it makes you feel like the Garrett Nussmeier doesn't have to be superhuman if they can get him the ball, because he is a difference maker and a playmaker.
Yeah, you know, we saw it for years down in New Orleans with Jimmy Graham, just those guys that can box out. Tony Gonzalez, you think back in Atlanta, all you have to do is get it in his vicinity, because that catch radius is nuts.
He's a totally different type of weapon, and so to have him on the field, it creates a mismatch no matter what. So, you know, we say it all the time, if he's one-on-one, he's open. So just giving him a chance to make plays and to do what he does.
He will be featured in the offense accordingly. And now, what does that do? Is it maybe cause more attention to him? If it does, then other people will be open that are really dynamic within this offense. We've got to get Barry and Brown going. We've got to find him more. You know, he's a dynamic player. We just threw a spot route to him, and he got 7 yards after the catch. You know, so he's a guy that we got to feature. You know, you got Xavion that's got to get involved. Aaron Anderson's coming back. Kyle Parker's not too bad. So you can imagine, you know, what we're trying to do here offensively is, you know, we want to get all these pieces into the game. And if one guy gets more attention than the other, maybe he doesn't get 9 catches, but maybe somebody else opens up the field for him. And that's what a dynamic tight end does for you.
He doesn't necessarily have to get 9 catches, I'm right with that, but he needs to get 5 targets. I think, you know, it keeps the rest of the defense honest when you have that tight end, especially down the middle of the field. If they can get that going, I really thought Bauer Sharp was going to have that kind of season. Unfortunately for me, he's been a little bit of a disappointment. I was expecting him to catch way more balls, and I was expecting him to be a lot more physical in the run game. And speaking of the run game, maybe that's one of the reasons why Garrett Nussmeier looks so good. He finally had a run game, right? LSU rushing for, what, 150 yards, I think?
That's correct, yeah.
156 yards maybe in the game. And they're doing it with their tailbacks. That's something that we haven't seen this season so far. If LSU can continue to get the run game going, it really does open up the rest of the field for Garrett and company.
If you can get a guy into the rhythm of the game and know that he's seeing it really well, that's an advantage. There's no doubt. If it's 3 here, 4 there, you're trying to find something, right? We weren't trying to find something. We knew what we had with counter. We knew what we had with split zone. We knew what we had with the runs. It was going to be about, can you break a couple tackles? I think the thing that Caden wants to do is not get wrapped up by the ankles. He's got to run through some tackles. And he knows that, but he plays the game the right way for us, and that's why he got the carries.
Absolutely, get him a ton of carries as well. A healthy Caden Durham is a difference maker as well. I mean, we're seeing if LSU can stay healthy, what a big difference maker it can be. And that is the big question for me this week, because there are so many guys dinged up on the defensive side of the ball. Jack Schimmel's going to get us that on-field update as far as the injury report goes and who's in and who's out after this commercial break. But before we get there, let's check out what has been a fantastic week of weather here in Baton Rouge. Dave, what do you got for us, big dog?
Well, over in Nashville, we'll check that out. First of all, I saw Jack out there kind of mess with the hair a little bit there. It's going to be windy for tailgating and for the game. Those winds are going to pick up about 15 miles per hour, maybe up to 20 at times there toward the end of the game, with temperatures running back into the upper 80s. And then as we go through for Southern's game coming up here in just a little bit, homecoming out there on the bluff, we are looking at a lot of sunshine early on, but it does appear that we're going to see some of those heavier showers and thunder showers starting to kind of pop up here and there. I don't think it's going to be a complete washout, but you might have to dodge a couple of those rain showers through the afternoon. I think the big event, though, is going to be coming in overnight tonight. We'll talk about that in just a sec. Right now, we're talking about temperatures running in the upper 70s and lower 80s. It is a lot more humid out there. Had a little patchy fog early this morning, but it is a bit more sticky. That's that moisture already starting to increase. So what we're going to be expecting is that warm and humid weather for today, but those big thunderstorms could be coming through with a cold front that will go through tonight. And that means we're going to be seeing some cooler temperatures on Sunday. In fact, we might be struggling our way up to about 80 degrees. Check it out. Temperatures upper 70s, low 80s. Have seen some showers that were out in the offshore waters. A few of those are sneaking their way into southwestern portions of Louisiana, but they are dissipating fairly quickly. And that's going to be the trend, but there might be a little bit of leftover energy that could get through here, and with the mix of the daytime heating, 1 or 2 isolated showers could be out there during the afternoon, so do keep that in mind. 87 should be the high today. It will be quite warm and humid with those winds out of the south at around 10 to 15 miles per hour. A little bit gusty out there, too, as we get into the afternoon and evening hours. Of course, thunderstorms will be coming through. We'll go ahead and give you that timeline for when you can expect that and why you should download the Storm Station Weather app to keep yourself updated overnight tonight, as most of these thunderstorms will be coming through after midnight. That's a quick look at our forecast right now.
Looking for a used or certified pre-owned car, truck, or SUV? Then head to any of our 13 dealerships and choose from our 14 different brands. A huge collection of used cars in stock. That's right, we have tons of used and certified pre-owned cars, trucks, and SUVs on our lots right now and at allstarautomotive.com. With so many vehicles to choose from at any of our 13 All-Star locations, you really do get it all at All-Star. All-Star Family.
Hi, this is Brandon Martin, owner of K&Z Interiors and Outdoor Living. We're here on location because a lot of our clients ask me, can you see through these screens when they're in the down position? This is a 95% screen, and you can see how much view you have. So with this screen, you can block out the glare and the heat, and you can also retain your cool air condition when they're in the down position. The greatest thing about the motorized screens is you can have a screen room enclosed when you want to, or have an open patio as well.
At Raising Cane's, we take pride in supporting our hometown of Baton Rouge. And this year, we're proud to partner with WBRZ's Pat's Coats for Kids.
Helping children stay warm from the cold has been our mission for over 35 years. And for just $25, you can give a coat to a child in need.
Help us spread one love this season by donating today. And on behalf of myself and all our Raising Cane's crew members, thank you for supporting Pat's Coats for Kids.
Pat's Coats for Kids is proudly sponsored by Raising Cane's.
For most of the people that walk in our store, it's been an ongoing, non-stop issue, and they're finally walking into the Good Feet store. The guy that came into my store last year that has had plantar fasciitis for 30 years, doctor finally sent him in. So in 30 days, I helped relieve a problem that's plagued him for 30 years. I mean, how do you not go home and talk about that?
See for yourself with a free personalized arch support fitting at the Good Feet store.
From the official news station of LSU Athletics, this is WBRZ Morning News at 10.
For the fans, start drinking earlier. I figured this was Bloody Mary start at 6, get going. Because it's midwinter break. We have Thursday and Friday off, so we'll practice at 11 a.m. We'll get the guys up. We'll have pregame meal like it is Saturday, and we'll go through that routine on Thursday and Friday without the Bloody Marys.
Oh, I'm kind of jealous of those LSU fans with Bloody Marys this morning. Tiger fans starting to file in here in Nashville. One side of the field here on LSU sideline, about halfway full. The other side not very full with Vanderbilt fans so far in this one. So if LSU gets a lead in this one, it could be Baton Rouge North, but we'll see more. We'll see if that happens, because this Vanderbilt team is, of course, like we've said it all week, is not your normal Vanderbilt. They are 5-1, number 17 in the country. Of course, a couple of years ago, it wasn't really thought that a team like the Commodores could actually compete at the national level in college football, but the playing field has been leveled overall with NIL and everything like that, because you see teams like Indiana competing potentially for a national championship this year, and Vanderbilt as well could compete for a college football playoff berth if they were able to win this game today. Earlier this week, Garrett Nussmeier and Coach Brian Kelly talking about how Vanderbilt got to this spot and what they bring to the table.
Everybody's got talent now. There's no more powerhouses. There's no more, beating up on somebody. Everybody's good. And so every time we go to a football game now, our goal is just to win the football game, do whatever it takes. And so as long as we keep doing that, we don't have any problems.
You can see what they're doing at their stadium. They're committing millions of dollars into their program. It starts with an institutional commitment, then leadership, and then the ability to develop your players and putting a roster together. All those three things have hit at Vanderbilt. And quite frankly, they've hit at the same time. All of those. And so that's why you got a good football team you're playing.
Yeah, Vanderbilt has really hit on a couple of players. They have a fearless leader in Diego Pavia as their quarterback. He's not everybody's cup of tea, but he's the engine that drives this Vanderbilt football program. And with him, he's not going to throw the ball all over the field. It starts with the run game for Vanderbilt. It's kind of a triple option style in this one, so defenders have to make decisions on where to go. But they're going to run the ball on early downs, and LSU will need to stop Vanderbilt on those early downs, force them into third and long, because if it's third and short, it might be a long day for the Tigers.
Certainly, one of the things that we've done really well is put pressure on the quarterback. But I'll be honest with you, it's going to be our ability to control first and second down, or third down becomes quick game, and it doesn't matter. You're not getting home. The ball's coming out so fast, you can't get there. So you've got to get into predictable third down situations, with then obviously that lends itself to us having some more success. So the real challenge here is first down and second down, and making sure that when they get to third down, it's more than third and short.
I think for LSU, it's all about making Diego Pavia beat you with his arm. He's not a great thrower, like I mentioned, but he can hit the ball over the top if you forget about him there. Of course, like I mentioned, the kind of triple option style, not good for LSU to have a couple of guys in the front seven out today. Bernard Gooden, Whit Weeks, and Jamari Butler not playing in this one. Those guys are normally the guys that have to make those decisions in those triple option defense, so it'll be the backups, Devon Keys, Dylan Carpenter, and others trying to make plays. However, I'm going to give a prediction before I send it back to you guys in the studio. I think LSU builds on their offense from last week. They win this one 24-17. Michael and Hunter, back to you.
That's probably a good number. I like the number.
Middle 20.
It's right where we've been talking for sure. What Jack said, though, that you really hate to hear, though, is kind of strong up the middle where LSU normally is. They will be playing without some of their best players. Bernard Gooden, definitely a difference maker, affecting the quarterback, and Whit Weeks, a guy that can clean up a lot of stuff, especially in the run game, like Vandy likes to do. So Harold Perkins, West Weeks, you're going to have a big day. Devon Keys going to have to play well, but he did that. And if you think back against Florida, 3 plays and Whit Weeks is out of the game because of targeting. So Devon Keys had to step up, play well, and he did just that. We'll have to see that going forward today. What did you think of Jack's score?
No, it's about where I had it. I had 24-16. So
we can't give away the best bets yet, buddy. Come on, we got to keep it under wraps. Talking about the offenses, one of the things that LSU certainly is going to have to do is play assignment football on defense. Brian Kelly definitely made a great comparison this week to his team to make sure that he understands that this Vanderbilt team is different. They are dangerous, and they can certainly beat you.
The first thing I said to him is that we're playing Navy. We're playing triple option. You have to do your job. If you don't do your job, they're going to rip off a big play. So, this is matching our traits with our talent. Like, you can't go in there and say, I'm just going to out-talent Vanderbilt. They're going to beat you. If you go into the game and say, listen, we're going to follow our traits, our discipline, our detail. We're going to play smart and then bring our talent. That now we're in a much better position. But if you go in there thinking, okay, we've got better players, and I can argue that in some places they have better players than we do. But the point I'm making is you have to bring those traits to a team that plays so well together.
Look, the numbers back it up, right? Here's a stat comparison between LSU and Vanderbilt. And when you look at the numbers, you can see why Vanderbilt is favored in this ball game. Of course, the game isn't played on paper, though, so there might be some discrepancies in this based on who LSU has played versus who Vanderbilt has played. But right there, LSU and Vanderbilt very tight as far as rushing defense goes. They're both very good at that. Vanderbilt right neck and neck with LSU in the passing game. It's the scoring defense that might get separated a little bit, and that's what you're really leaning on LSU here to be the difference maker in this ballgame.
And if LSU's able to make Vanderbilt one-dimensional, similar to what Jack said, and make Diego Pavia throw the football, I love the chances for the Tigers in this one. They could stop that triple option run game and limit the big chunk plays. The Tigers are in a good position to get this one on the road.
Yeah, and you like their secondary this year, certainly in that kind of matchup. You like what they can, bring to the table, certainly. So, but in order for LSU's offense to get going, you have to see some continued better play from the offensive line. We've seen some steps maybe. Obviously, last week we talked about it. 166 yards was the rush total for LSU. If they clean up some of those turnovers, then LSU can really separate a score. That's something we haven't seen all day. The offensive line is getting better. Brian Kelly said he feels like they are improving. He complimented their golden triangle play, center guard action. So, you can see the steps being made. Right tackle, still a little bit of an issue, but Brian Kelly says they're willing to live with some of the mistakes that Weston Davis is making. He's a young player, and they're betting on him to get better in the future.
We're willing to live with some mistakes out at right tackle because we think his future is so bright. So when you go into that whole process of thinking about it, do you thwart his growth of what he needs to see every day? He was really good against six and pass protection, really good. That guy is outstanding. He's as good as I've seen, and he did a great job. We've got to get him better in the run game. And that's where, at times, you want to put Josh out there. But we're going to live with him. I'm proud of him. He's growing. He's learning this game. And that's a big part of this. O-line awareness, O-line instincts, some have it, some don't. Some you got to really give them reps. And that's what this is about. He needs to play.
Our own Hunter McCann, a former offensive lineman. Did you have the instincts, bud?
Sure did.
Sure did.
So sure did. St. Michael Warrior alum here. Had those instincts right there in the middle at right guard, though, not right tackle.
Oh, good job. Hey, Hunter's going to get his chance to shine. We got your best bets coming up next after this.
Looking for the perfect venue for your next corporate event? Choose Oak Lodge. With 3 versatile spaces, it's ideal for training sessions, awards banquets, fundraisers, and more. Plus, there's plenty of parking in a convenient location. Oak Lodge, let us help you take care of business.
Russell. Is the open road calling your name? Some guys were born truck drivers, and Coastal Truck Driving School can get you trained and certified in as little as 16 days. Coastal Truck Driving School can help you get out on the road and find your true calling with CDL training, CDL third-party testing, job placement assistance, and financial aid to those who qualify. See the world and get paid doing it. Don't let life pass you by. Call Coastal Truck Driving School right now.
All across America.
Good morning.
Good morning. Wherever we are, it feels like home.
Man, it's good to be home.
GMA, it's an invitation to come together and brighten your morning.
In South Louisiana, weather can turn on a dime. Be informed.
Count on the WBRZ Storm Station 7-day forecast to keep you prepared for the next big weather event.
Sponsored by me, Peyton Murphy, Louisiana's injury lawyer.
Get the kitchen and bath you've always wanted with Regal Remodelers. With over 40 years of experience, we specialize in full kitchen and bath renovations that finish on time and on budget. We make custom cabinets and windows in-house, saving you time and money. We also specialize in flooring and use quality products with timeless design that will last a lifetime. Find out why our customers recommend us. Call Regal Remodelers today at 810-3388.
Park 73, where your corporate event meets Southern hospitality. Say goodbye to stuffy corporate event spaces and hello to Park 73's spacious, light-filled event center set on 5 acres. We've got amazing food and service, plenty of parking, and a great location.
Call me Peyton Murphy. I am Louisiana's brain injury lawyer.
Now, this week's Best Bets with Hunter McCann.
Oh, it's our favorite time of Saturday morning. Some best bets with yours truly, Hunter McCann, bringing it home. All right, I know right out of the gate he's going to brag on himself. What, 5-1 last week?
5-1 last week, 4-0 right here on Best Bets.
I feel like I know the recipe now.
We're getting right into it.
Let's do it again,
Let's win
man.
some
Let's
money.
make some money.
Yeah, why not? Let's go to this LSU-Vanderbilt game first. I kind of already dealt my hand a little bit, but Vanderbilt favored 2.5 points in this one against the Tigers. Over-under is 48.5 points. And look, I think Vegas smells blood in the water here in this game between LSU and Vanderbilt, but I'm not sure it's Tiger blood. I think it might be Commodore blood in the water. I just think this LSU team and this LSU defense is going to be able to limit Diego Pavia from those chunk plays that we're used to seeing from him. And on the offensive side of the ball, I agree with Jack Schimmel. I think this LSU team is primed to build upon that success they did have against South Carolina. If they stop shooting themselves in the foot, those are mistakes that feel like they can be fixed. I think they're going to go into this Vanderbilt game where the lights are shining the brightest on this Vanderbilt team. I'm not sure they're ready to live up to the moment. I will happily take LSU at plus money at this one. Roll with the Tigers on the money line. I also like under 48.5, as I love the under every single week when the Tigers play.
I tell you what, everybody's loving the under. I feel like this is the ESPN game day jinx. I'm going to actually take the over in this one because everybody's on the under in this one. A fantastic slate of SEC football this Saturday. It's kind of good that LSU's on the road if you're here at home watching on your tube because we got some great games. Next one is one of them, Ole Miss and Georgia, between the hedges.
Yeah, right here on WBRZ. Georgia, a 7.5-point favorite in Athens. The over-under 53.5 total points. And Ole Miss coming off that poor performance at home against Washington State. But Trinidad Chambliss has shown once again that he is not just a good story. He's going to be able to lead this Rebels offense throughout this season. While the Bulldogs do not look invincible. They played down to the wire, even on the road against Auburn last week, and came away with a victory in that one, but it was not pretty. I think that this one is a game where Georgia will handle business in Athens, but I can't wrap my mind around the Rebels going down easy, especially with how Georgia has played. Even at home, they played down to their opponent. I'm going to roll with the Rebels in this one, plus 7.5 on the road against the Bulldogs.
Really? I think I actually like the over in this one. So that was at 53.5. I could see both of those teams getting in on top of that one. Another great one, Tennessee and Alabama. What is it? The
third Saturday
in October. You got to protect those traditional rivalries.
Yeah, and we do. And it's a big rivalry in this one, but still Alabama finds himself an 8.5-point favorite in this one against the Volunteers. Over under 58.5 points. And we are statistically going to see two of the best passers in the country in this one. Tennessee's offense has looked lethal. Even last week in an overall weak performance for the Volunteers as a team, that offense still showed why it is so high and mighty against the Arkansas Razorbacks. This will be the most balanced attack Alabama has seen this year. And a fun fact for you, Michael, Alabama 1-4 against the spread as a 7-point favorite against top 15 teams since 2022. I'm going to roll with the Volunteers in this one to keep it close. It just seems like way too many points, even on the road, because Alabama doesn't look invincible, even if they do look like one of the top 3 teams in the SEC. I'm going to take the Volunteers plus 8.5.
I'm going to ride with my man Hunter here. I like the Vols and the number. All right. Finally tonight, Texas A&M and Arkansas. It's a game that Tiger fans should get their pens and paper out and start taking notes because those are the next couple of teams that you'll be facing.
Yeah, absolutely. And this is a big one for the A&M as you get to the middle of the season. They find themselves another touchdown favorite in this one. 7.5 points for A&M, over under 61.5 points. And the Aggies will be without their top running back and Le'Veon Moss. The Arkansas defense has been terrible this season, but their offense is capable of going blow for blow. Just like I mentioned, they played really well against the Volunteers and this Bobby Petrino-led Arkansas team now. Now with the with the Razorbacks going into Aggie land, I think they're going to keep this game close as well. This feels like where Texas A&M gets to the middle of the season and starts having some hiccups. I don't think the Aggies are going to lose this game on the road, but going into Fayetteville and getting a huge victory, I don't see it happening. I'm once again rolling with an underdog to cover. Give me the Razorbacks plus 7.5 points.
I'm going to go against you on that one. I like Texas A&M to cover. So give us the quick recap.
All righty, all underdogs. Tigers as an underdog. Take them at plus money on the money line against Vanderbilt. Ole Miss keeping it close against Georgia plus 7.5. The Volunteers plus 8.5 in the third Saturday in October against Bama. And then finally, 2:30 today, Arkansas plus 7.5 at home against Texas A&M.
Those are your best bets. He is Hunter McCann. When we come back, our man David Hamilton will be back in the house with the best news you can find here on a Saturday morning in Baton Rouge.
Casa Bonita Imports liquidation sale is going on now. Save 40 to 60% off all terracotta pottery. Save 25 to 50% off Talavera pottery. 50% off all metal items and concrete fountains. And even more items, 50 to 60% off. Casa Bonita's liquidation sale. Airline at Prairieville.
Insurance companies have teams of professionals to fight your claim. If you want to know what your case is really worth, I'm Spencer Callahan. I'd like to help.
Spencer Callahan is the one to see.